Welcome to UNIGINE Programming Quick Start tutorial, Getting and Managing User Inputs. In this video you are going to learn how to use the app class to handle keyboard and mouse inputs. In our project, we're going to handle the following user inputs. Pressing Q key on the keyboard, in this case we close the application, and clicking right mouse button. In this case, we call getObjectUnderMouseCursor function from the previous step and report the name of the selected object using selectObject function. First of all, in our header file, let us include a couple of libraries we're going to use. The first one is UNIGINE app to be able to use the app class, and the second one is UNIGINE console to be able to use the console class. Then we declare a pointer to the app class instance. So now let us proceed to implementation. In our AppWord Logic CPP file, we're going to implement our selectObject function. This function is going to take the pointer returned by the getObjectUnderMouseCursor function, and we call it new selected object. Okay. Here, if we got an object under the mouse cursor, this means that our new selected object is not empty. So we report the name of the selected object. For this purpose, we use the getName method of the object class. And we return 1 on success. In case if our new selected object was empty, this means that there was nothing found under mouse cursor, we return 0. The next thing we're gonna do is we're going to initialize our pointer to the app class. It is also designed as a singleton, so we use the get method. So now in our update method of the world script, we include the following code. First, we're gonna handle the situation when the right mouse button is clicked. So for this purpose, we use the getMouseButtonState method of the app class and indicate the state that we are actually interested in. For this purpose, we type app : and select button right, which actually refers to the state of the right button of the mouse. So in this case, if the right mouse button was clicked, we call the select object function, and as a parameter, we pass the value returned by the get object under mouse cursor function. So here, as you remember, we must specify the pointer to the player. We use the game class here and the get player method of the game class. Then we specify the coordinates of the mouse cursor. For this purpose, we use the getMouseX and getMouseY methods of the app class. So, okay. And the next parameter is maximum distance. We're gonna set it to 100 units. The next input we're going to process is when the user presses the Q key on the keyboard. For this purpose, we use the getKeyState method of the app class and specify the key that we're actually interested in our case Q. And we're also going to check if the console is not in the active state. Otherwise, if the user types something in the console which contains the Q letter, we're going to close application. For this purpose, we're going to use the getActivity method of the console class, which returns true if the console is active. So, okay, if our Q key was pressed and the console was not active, we actually close the application by calling the exit method of the app class. So now let us check what we've got. Okay. Now let us check the console. There's nothing here. And now we're going to select objects. As you see, there are names of selected objects under mouse cursor. Now everything works fine. In the next section, we're going to implement some game logic and learn how to use properties.